Good morning all, happy full moon and welcome to Just Another Magic Monday. Here are Cosmic Insights for the week of January 17th to January 23rd. What can be expected within the cosmos, what positive celestial influences for you to maximize, and what's not so helpful celestial influences just be mindful of. I'm breaking it all down thematic, day by day, how to use astrology to live your most magical aligned life. If any part of this video helps you in planning out or visualizing your week ahead, I would so appreciate any little nudge you can give, anything you feel inspired to do, from a like to comment to subscription to notification, only if I earn it, only if you enjoy the content. And without further ado, let's talk about this week. And rise and shine, it's full moon time, as we've got a crabby Cancer full moon. And no, I did not mean to make that joke. Cancer is represented by the crab. But seriously, while there is some dreamy influences with the trine to Neptune, this full moon is being flanked with an opposition to Pluto. So we love Cancerian energy. It's nurturing, it's cozy, it's compassionate. It's a full moon on Moon Day, Monday. How perfect is that? But it's sort of this energy where there can be some intensely charged emotions with opposition to Pluto, which we'll dive into. We've got Uranus stationing direct this week, injecting this week with lightning bolts of rebellion and individuality. We've got the Sun entering Aquarius, kicking off the free-spirited water bearer seasons. Happy birthday to all of my Aquariuses out there. And we've got Sun meeting up with Mercury, illuminating some of our Mercury retrograde story and perhaps a mistake or two. So what does this mean for you? Let's take it into the vibe check of the week, which, thank you Motorcycle Man, which is essentially what this week feels like. And I'm drinking tea today. If you watched last week, you would know that I drank a bit too much coffee and it was pretty overwhelming. It was overwhelming to edit. It was probably overwhelming for you to watch. So today we're very calm. We're drinking tea. We're prepping for this full moon. We're feeling all of our emotions. So centered, calm. That's the energy we're moving into this week. And the vibe check is less so. So vibe check is essentially a real life situation that I like in the astrology to help paint a picture of what this week will feel like. Like there's got to be a better way to do things. Okay, so the vibe check this week feels like that sensation of butting up a system that is just dumb and just really having a strong desire to rebel against it. I've shared quite a bit. I love cleaning. It really is my happy time. I'm not the best at it necessarily, but I really enjoy it. It's my me time. I love it. But this moment where I'm like, this life thing is really stupid. And wow, life is just a constant repeat of maintenance and things that need maintenance, is when I have to clean things that their job is for cleaning. Like when I have to clean my sink, when I have to clean my shower, when I clean my bath, like everything else I enjoy in cleaning, but when it's a device that's used for cleaning, I'm like, what is the point? This is so dumb. Or you can liken it to that feeling when you're like, just making a ridiculous set of phone calls, like calling insurance. Oh, do you take this? Having to call your doctor and they said you weren't gonna have a copay and then you do. Just those moments that makes you face to face of like, this is so annoying. This is ridiculous. This life thing is so frustrating. Why am I running around in circles trying to figure out this copay? Why do I have to clean my sink all of the time when the sink's job is to clean things? Whatever you can liken it to, those just frustrating situations where you just want to rebel. You just want to think, forget it. I don't even want health insurance. Forget it. I'm not even gonna clean. I'm gonna let the whole house get dirty. It's like that feeling when you're just face to face with a frustrating situation of life and you're like, this is a broken system. Like, what the heck? Why am I even doing this? And obviously, I'm quite optimistic. I've got my local optimist shirt on. So I'm an optimistic person. So I don't often run into those feelings. But gosh darn, if they do not come up every so often. And this week feels like that. And let me tell you why. So I already lightly touched on that this Cancer moon will be opposing Pluto, which Cancer moon is feeling everything so intensely, so deeply. And with the opposition to Pluto, you can find it's a very intensely charged lunation. And with Cancer moon, there's really the sensation to want to ground down into our home, to be with what soothes our spirit, with what, comforts our soul, our family members, our loved ones, our pets, our plants, what makes us feel comfy. And with the opposition to Pluto, it's like there could feel like there's powers that be or systems that just pull you from it. It's like, why am I spending my afternoon calling all of these different insurances to partake in this flawed insurance system when I could just be, you know, relaxing into what's sacred and dear to me? It's like this energy where we want to find that comfort, but we're not feeling like we are afforded it, whether it's the systems or the powers that be, or just the frustration of continually having to battle a broken system. And obviously my example of the sinks is on the more minor side of that scale, but it can be wherever you are face to face with just like systematic failures or just modern life failures where you're just like, what is the point of this? And trust me, there is a point to life. We all encounter those feelings of being like, oh, this is so frustrating. What is the point of constant maintenance, constantly being in circles? But the beautiful thing of this week is that there is this awakening energy with Uranus stationing direct, which is where in the vibe check, it's sort of about awakening from those frustrating life situations to be like, there's got to be a different way. Like, I'm going to rebel. Like, I don't want to be, you know, a cog in this, you know, machine. Like, I want to rebel. And maybe that's possible. Maybe that's not as possible. Maybe it's rebelling in your own private ways. Maybe it's reconnecting to what genuinely soothes your spirit that gives you purpose in the scheme of it all. This full moon does trine Neptune, which does speak to those sort of spiritual dimensions. We're being flanked by all of the expectations and demands of modern society, but with the trine to Neptune, it's like this energy to anchor into what gives us peace, what gives us true comfort in the bigger picture of it all, even despite you having to spend all this time calling all these insurances, having to clean your sink, those moments when you just clean and now there's sand all over the ground, just those annoying maintenance things where you're like, oh, this is so repetitive. What is it that gives you comfort in the bigger scheme of it? What is it that gives you purpose in the bigger scheme of it? What is it that gives you spiritual solace and comfort in the bigger scheme of life? That's what this Cancer full moon is asking you. So I'm going to take it day by day, and do keep in mind that all times that I mention are PST, and if you need any timestamps, please refer below. But cheers, happy Monday. This tea is so good. It's the sweet and spicy, and they used to have like really fun quotes on it, and now they've just been getting really corny. Like this one is variety is a spice of life. Like, really? Anyways, gonna put that down. So with Monday's full moon, it is important to anchor into what are you feeling? What is coming up for you at this time? Cancer is our emotional receptivity. Cancer is obviously the sign of the moon, which the moon does not give off its own light. It reflects, right? It reflects the light of the sun. So Cancers in our, society are the reflectors, which is why a lot of Cancers do very well in pop culture. A lot of a disproportionate amount of reality television stars are Cancers because it reflects back to us societal, trends and priorities. It's a reflector energy. And with this Cancer full moon, that's why, it can be considered so moody, because it's this reflecting and this mirroring. And I would really encourage anyone who has strong Cancer placements to really be able to identify what is, you reflecting other people and what stuff is genuinely yours in terms of the emotions that come up. But on Monday, really important time to just feel what comes up. Like I mentioned, this full moon does oppose Pluto. So there might be this energy around wanting to protect what is sacred and dear and just feel like you're not able to, whether it's just frustrating systems at play or just this energy around what is even the point if just life is just this repetitive thing. But like I mentioned earlier, anchor into what is safe, anchor into what gives you comfort in the bigger scheme of things. Be patient with yourself if you need to feel. If you need to cry, it's a Cancer moon, Monday, moon day, feel it all. That's the point of the full moon, is to illuminate what's been building this particular cycle and to reflect back to us. As I mentioned, Cancer is this reflector-like energy. Reflect back to us what maybe we've been avoiding emotionally. The full moon exacts at 3:48 p.m. and it'll enter Leo later that night at 8:03 p.m. Drawing awareness to expression, creativity. On Tuesday, the 18th, Uranus does station direct, which you've heard me mention this quite a bit, is that when outer planets are direct, it's not the most intensely huge deal. They're retrograde commonly out of the year, and they're more so generational themes, more so than personally, which is what I try to focus on here. But I will say, when a planet changes directions, we feel that energy. And Uranus is rebellion. Uranus is individuality. I am so sorry if the lighting changed slightly. We had an ultra loud garbage truck outside, so talk about just annoying life inconveniences. Nothing earth-shattering, just frustrating, just the sort of energy where it's like, okay, I only have this time to film this video, and of course there's a loud garbage truck outside, but thankful for garbage trucks and for helping us with our trash, so just anchoring into gratitude. But life is annoying sometimes, and that's very much the energy of this week. So on Tuesday, with Uranus stationing direct, there can be this lightning bolt energy with rebellion, with wanting to reclaim our individuality. There can be some fluctuations within our world, a desire for unpredictability, to break outside the mold, like cleaning your sink for the final time. And you're like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm gonna travel cross country. I'm gonna go book a flight to Vegas. I'm done. I need some fun in my life. That's what the energy of Uranus stationing direct. And we also have Mercury sextiling Chiron, which is a part of Mercury retrograde story. Remember, Mercury's retrograde, so it is prompting all sorts of interesting insights from within. With the sextile to Chiron in Aries, there is this energy around embracing yourself. Both Aquarius and Aries are very unapologetic in regards to their own themness, which is why I love being around both these signs, because it frees you to be more you, right? So with this Mercury retrograde story, with Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, it could be prompting an interesting dialogue around how safe or unsafe do you feel to communicate your authentic truth? How safe or unsafe do you feel to innovate? How safe or unsafe do you feel to break outside the mold every so often? And then the Leo moon is typically a very happy, fun, creative influence, but you know, it's not so happy. It's opposing Mercury in Aquarius, so there can be certain frustrations coming up from the Mercury retrograde story. The moon will also oppose Saturn and square off with Uranus, so this feeling of pressure, again, it's like a pressure cooker energy around, you know, maybe it's not the end of the world. Maybe when you have to clean the sink, it's not earth-shattering. Maybe having to call insurance isn't the most annoying, earth-shattering event in the world, but it's like the sort of energy where it's just the final straw, right? Like you were already having a bad day, you already spilled coffee on your white sweatshirt, and it's just like having to call and be on hold with insurance for 2 hours. It's just like the explosion that you need to just be like, ah, this is so annoying. I'm so frustrated. Why? Everywhere I turn, there's delays and frustrations with Mercury retrograde. And again, feeling it pretty intensely because we're coming off that full moon. So again, kind of a full moon hangover feeling. So be gentle with yourself on Tuesdays. It does feel very frustrating. On Wednesday, the 19th, Sun officially enters Aquarius. So happy birthday to all of my free-spirited, innovative water bears. We adore you for being your unapologetic self, for guiding us into innovation, for truly seeing into the future and guiding the way there. So with the Sun entering Aquarius, it's interesting because both Capricorn and Aquarius in traditional astrology are governed by Saturn, the planet of rules and restrictions. And they both have a different relationship with rules and restrictions. Like Capricorn's relationship with rules and restrictions is like, oh, I got to know the rules in order to succeed and be the best at them. But Aquarius is like, I've got to know the rules in order to break them. So again, with that spirit of rebellion, where it's like, that was just the final straw, and then now you are just mad at the system and gonna go do something impulsive. Not saying necessarily do that, but do something that brings you back to individuality, that brings you back to purpose, because I know those mundane inconveniences of life are so frustrating. But with the Sun entering Aquarius, it reminds us that we have agency to be able to make our own set of rules. And a pretty calm day. The only aspect really is the Leo moon opposing Saturn, which does happen the night prior in PST. So, you know, it does feel a little cranky. There is this limitation of us trying to shine our light, which is the Leo moon, but it's like with the Saturn, it's like, we don't have time to be creative and have fun. We have to clean the sink. We have to clean the shower. We have to call insurance. It's like, I did not sign up for this. I did not sign up for this. Luckily, that evening, the Leo moon will build to a trine to Mars and Sagittarius, which could bring us back to the big picture, remind us of who we are, what it is that lights us up. Maybe that rebellious spirit from the Aquarius sun is kicking that up within us. So if you are feeling very blah, very annoyed, trust me, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Just keep slogging through this week. On Thursday, the moon will be void from 12:15 a.m. to 6:02 a.m., at which point it enters Virgo. So just in case you're listening from a different time zone, do know that that's a void moon, so not terribly productive. But with the moon entering Virgo, there's this really nice earthy energy to ground down. So it's like, this is the energy where you're actually in the mood to call your insurance and clean the sink and like all of those pesky annoyances of life. Like Virgo is very very much energy that understands that life takes maintenance. It overwhelmed the Cancer moon on Monday. Cancer moon was crying about life's inconveniences, but this is sort of energy on Thursday where we're able to sort of tackle them, handle little details. There does seem to be a good feeling with the opposition to Jupiter. Just be mindful in terms of overdoing energy. If you're gonna overdo something with the Virgo moon, overdo your errands, overdo your to-dos. And Friday is beautiful. This is the aforementioned light at the end of the tunnel where it's like, okay, life isn't just a repetitive series of having to do these mundane things over and over and over again. Gosh, Haley, for wearing a local Optimist sweatshirt, you're being quite the Debbie Downer today, but Friday does feel very worth it. There's this really nice earthy trine building in the cosmos with the Virgo moon trining off with Uranus in Taurus and trining Venus in Capricorn. So nice earthy energy around anchoring into our physical body. Maybe you make something delicious or take a bath and you're like, suddenly life is worth living, and it is nice to have a clean sink, and it is nice to have health insurance, and I'm just gonna pay my bills with gratitude even though they're annoying. It's like anchoring into our physical reality. Great day to handle any work tasks, any financial tasks, but do keep in mind Venus is retrograde, Mercury is retrograde, so try not to do anything crazy. But if you do have to like pay bills or something, Friday's great. And then that evening, that Virgo moon will oppose Neptune in Pisces. So dreams could be very interesting. Watch the indulging of all sorts, as Neptune is escapism, Neptune is substances, and with the Virgo moon, it does create quite a bit of worry there. So you can, that Friday evening, overcompensate for that worry or all the overthinking by trying to dull it out with a Cabernet or something of the nature. So just be mindful of those tendencies that spring from within. That's under talked about with Virgo, is that Virgo can be very much Virgo and Pisces, people always put the escapist stuff on Pisces, but Virgo can be just as much so. So just being mindful on Friday when it comes to anything that you're taking to numb or enhance or escape from reality. Get lost in a dream, get lost in a movie, get lost in a prayer. These are the most positive expressions of Neptune, because Neptune merges boundaries. So it's like it can turn, just this one glass of wine to 20. On Saturday, the 22nd, we have the Virgo moon trining Pluto in Capricorn. So great day to do something that makes you feel empowered. This would be great for working out, climbing to the top of a mountain, doing something that makes you feel empowered. It's like, no, I'm not gonna let life's inconveniences get me down. I'm gonna go after what I want. And then the Virgo moon does battle with Mars and Sagittarius. Mars and Sagittarius wants to have a good time. Virgo moon wants to handle its physical reality. And with the square, it would be a great day to do something fun that promotes meaning while also masking it with something productive. So for example, I love, cleaning while listening to like a spiritual podcast, or like hiking while praying, or meeting up with a friend while also, drinking smoothies. Like something that sort of will satiate the Virgo moon desire to want to be healthy and productive and efficient, all the things. With the Mars and Sagittarius with, let's adventure, let's try something new, let's go somewhere new. The moon will be void from 11:46 a.m. to 2:03 p.m., at which point the moon enters balanced, harmonious Libra. And the Aquarius sun will trine that Libra moon. This is the waning gibbous moon, also known as the disseminating moon, and this is a moon phase largely associated with giving, with sharing, with storytelling, and that's very much enhanced with this being an air signs. Like Aquarius is all about humanitarian pursuits and how we resonate with humanity at large. And with Libra moon, it's about feeling connected to people in general. So this is a really lovely social energy. I know, if not in person, online or something of the like, something just make you feel more connected to other humans, share a story, listen to a story. That's, what we're here, not to get too woo-woo, but that's what we're here to do, is to give and to share and to help one another out. And that's sort of the energy with the Aquarius sun trining with the Libra moon. And the Libra moon trines Mercury in Aquarius. Do know that Mercury is retrograde, so maybe don't, be at that networking event spilling all your life secrets, because with Mercury retrograde, what goes around comes around. Mercury is treading through degrees that it will right back through. So just being mindful that what it is that you're sharing at the networking event, imagine if everything you said during Mercury retrograde was posted on a billboard. Would you be proud of the statements that you're uttering at networking? And I don't mean to scare you that you need to be mindful in every little thing you say, but just important to keep in mind with Mercury retrograde, especially with all the social communicative energy. And you know, Libra moon does love the tea, love the gossip, but with Mercury retrograde, there can be energies around miscommunication or saying something to the wrong person and it gets around or something of the like. So just being extra precise with your language, and just, if you wouldn't be content with other people knowing it, maybe just don't share it during Mercury retrograde, because it could come back to bite you, and we don't want that. And the other reason I'm saying be social, 2 thumbs up on social, but deliberate with your language, with what you're sharing. Share to connect and not to stir up drama or gossip. And not to say that there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but if you just know that it's mean-spirited or that it might get back to someone, maybe just try to not, because we're also building to Sun conjoining Mercury, which happens the next day, but we'll feel it on Saturday. And with the Sun, you know, it does cazimi. Mercury goes in the heart of the Sun is what cazimi means. And with this, there can be this energy around really identifying with our own opinions, like really getting on a soapbox in terms of Brenda is this and Brenda is that, and then sort of losing our grasp on the big picture of it all, of like, oh, maybe Brenda was just going through a bad time, and ooh, I think Wanda's really close with Brenda, so maybe I shouldn't share that. Because with Sun conjoining Mercury, we can be very egoically attached to our opinions, and with it in Aquarius, love you guys, innovative queens, but Aquarius is a fixed sign, so it's so funny. There's such an oxymoron, because it's like, we're so free-spirited, we're so open-minded, and they are. Yet, have you disagreed with an Aquarius? They are rigid, they are fixed air, which is why they're so intelligent, right? But they're not going to budge once they have an opinion made up on something, right? They are stuck to it, which is why it's such a sign around knowing the rules of the system in order to innovate, in order to change. I'm noticing, I'm going through the president's charts randomly. This is like what I do in my free time. And I'm just knowing such a disproportionate amount of Aquarius presidents, or like Aquarius rising, Aquarius moon, because it's very much the energy of politics in a certain degree. And with politics, you're supposed to, who knows now, but you're supposed to have, you know, your thoughts and your opinions and your values very hard set. And that's the energy of Aquarius, working within the systems and the structures to innovate, to create change. That's what politicians are supposed to do, right? But anyways, so with Sun conjunct Mercury, there can be this over egoic attachment to our ideas, talking on a soapbox, while not seeing the energy quite clearly, as Mercury is retrograde. So it's like more information might need to come to light. We might not know that Wanda's really close with Brenda and going to repeat back. We might not know why Brenda, you know, did that thing that she did to us. We don't have all the details involved yet. So if you wouldn't be comfortable with every single person knowing that oversight, maybe just be deliberate with your language. And there's a little bit of wounding energy on Sunday, interestingly. So there is an aspect of it, exacts around 6 a.m. I want to say, and it's a Libra moon opposite Chiron in Aries, which is kind of like an out. So if you don't wake up in the most terrific mood on Sunday, that could be it. And also the Libra moon is answering to Venus, but then it's building a square to Venus. So it's not terribly happy, where it's like, you know, Venus in Capricorn wants to be very wise about our money and our resources, and it's retrograde. So it's reworking where we're investing our energy, where we're investing our money, if it's working for us, if it's working for our long-term plans and goals and future. And with the square to Libra moon wants to be surrounded by beautiful things. It wants to have lovely experiences. So it's almost this clash around, oh, I so want to spend $9 for this latte, but I am saving for a down payment. So like, this is so annoying. Why can't we have lattes and down payments? I don't understand. Luckily, your discipline will pay off with Libra moon trining Saturn in Aquarius. There is a feeling of anchoring and stabilization towards the end of the weekend, which was really great for making any plans that you need to, maybe setting your meetings for the upcoming week, creating your to-do list to plan for an upcoming week of beauty. So I hope I wasn't a downer this week with all the inconveniences, but that's what life is, and it just feels like there's a very emotional response to this feeling of feeling out of control, or just feeling of like helplessness or like hopelessness almost. So I just want you to love yourself through those moments, be gentle and patient with yourself if you are feeling extra emotional or sensitive. Such is the nature of Cancer moons. And this week's Magic Monday mantra of the week is, every day is an opportunity for me to create something new. And I chose this mantra because like I'm saying, there's this energy around repetitiveness, or like, oh gosh, life is the same thing over and over. Why is life so mundane? Why do we have to do insurance and mortgage and all of these things? I don't understand. But I just want you to empower yourself to remember that every single day there is a possibility that something could happen that could change your life. And I think this mantra sort of brings you back to the energy around, okay, life is more than this. Yes, we have to deal with these things, these inconveniences. And yes, the system is very flawed and we do need change. There are ways to rebel in our own individual way and claim our own authenticity and be our own unique, quirky, eccentric self. Yes, we have to deal with these inconveniences, but every day is the opportunity to be able to claim a life that is more you, that is more authentic, that is more true to self. With Aquarius, it really is this call around, where do you feel like you have to mask yourself in order to fit in order to keep up with the status quo, in order to keep up with these systems? Where in your life does it make sense to rebel? You know, everyone at your work always wears this kind of clothes. Where can you integrate a different color? Where can you walk a different way on your lunch break to just see some different sights, invigorate your everyday with just a little bit of fun, a little bit of novelty, just as a reminder that life is worth living, that we do have the power to be able to seek new experiences, to be able to break out of the mold that maybe society has put ourselves in, or that maybe we've put ourselves in. And I'm wishing a very, very happy birthday to all of my Aquarians friends. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology. My TikTok is the same. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay magical.